Hello, I welcome everybody who has joined us. This is the Media Center Ukraine of Ukrinform, which is ongoing with its work. This is the 9th year of the war, and today is 215th day of the heroic resistance of Ukrainian people. Now we will be speaking about the situation in Odesa Oblast. We are in touch with Serhii Bratchuk, spokesperson for Odesa Oblast Military Administration and chair of the Public Council. Hello, Serhii. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Serhii, drones kamikaze is the new reality, unfortunately, of the recent days of Odesa region residents. What are the consequences of such strikes? Yes, it's right. Today we faced the new tactics of the enemies. For several days in a row, the enemy is using those kamikaze drones of Iranian manufacturing, which are named Serhii 136, but Russians renamed them into Line 2. Several attacks, at least 5 of those attacks, were conducted during these days. The enemy is trying to in fact save some of the missile and cruise missiles of different calibers, because those drones, Serhii drones, are much cheaper. They can be used in a more frequent manner, and they are not working one by one. They, as we can see, have several drones kamikaze which can be launched simultaneously. As of now, several buildings were attacked closer to the port when we saw this attack against Odesa for the first time, and this night against Odesa Oblast or region, the military infrastructure object was under attack. One drone kamikaze was put down, destroyed, but unfortunately it exploded on the territory of this military object. As of now, the rescue operation is only coming to an end, but most important thing, there are no people affected by it. But this is really the new tactics of the enemy, and our military experts are working to find out the weaknesses of these attacks and to respond in the proper manner. But if we're speaking about the anti-air defense, we can see that several days ago during one of the attacks, all the 4 drones which came to the city were destroyed. Serhii, could you please tell for the local residents, for their understanding, do we know in this case when our enemy are using such drones and launching them, is there a raid alert? Do people hear about it, or it's not working? As of the air raid alert signal, when we are speaking about the drones kamikaze, which really can be problematic, it is so hard for them to find them in the airspace. It has the sound signal and we can see them. Then, of course, the air raid alert is working. And the most important thing, that the people have the opportunity during several minutes, if this drone hasn't been shot down, people have several minutes to take the proper decision which should have been worked on, that is to go to the shelters, because after it hits the aims, after the explosion, this drone has substantial blast wave, and we are speaking that it can be dismantled into little fragments which are flying in all the directions for a very long distance. So thank you for the opportunity, for giving me the opportunity to say that you shouldn't take pictures or videos of drones, you should hide in the shelters. Even today we have been working on that. We can see how those fragments are flying in all the directions, so you could hide in some older buildings which can be found in Odesa. You can hide under the ark, or you can hide in any other cover and wait until this enemy attack is over. Moreover, the air raid alert signal is as long as it's needed, so we need to understand an important issue. This enemy's attacks is not just dotty or one time, that there can't be guaranteed that the enemy won't attack again. On the opposite, the enemy is conducting at least 2 attacks. So we need to take care, and I do urge all the Odesa residents and all the residents of the southern settlements where the enemy can use these drones. Serhii, do we understand correctly that these new tactics of the enemy is to launch at least two drones? If one is taken down, then the second one will try to shoot at the aim. Yes, of course, the enemy is trying to use some of the new developments in the military tactics using the drones. But again, I will repeat, our experts are working to consider these tactics and to respond, to counteract. I do hope that during the following days we'll feel it. But it doesn't mean that you should ignore the air raid alert signals. Thank you for such info. We've got the questions among the journalists, please. Valentin Orangel, Ukrinform, could you please tell, can these attacks of drones impact the delivery and exports of agrarian products from Odesa ports? And do you prepare some of the reserve electrical sources if those drones kamikaze shoot against the energy objects? Thank you for the reasonable questions. As of the grain initiative, our response is that from ports of Odesa and Pivdeni, the caravan of 4 bulkers left, which are bringing our agrarian products to the destination ports. Today those are 88,000 tons of agrarian industrial products. Yes, there are some of the fears about that, but still I hope that the grain initiative will be working. Moreover, that Ukraine is not only complying with all its obligations, but our armed forces will protect our airspace and land and the part of our Black Sea from any possible attacks. So I do hope that the guarantees given by Turkey and the United Nations will be working as well. Though, of course, such threats exist. As of the energy and possible attacks of drones kamikaze against these systems, we can be speaking about the data from the main intelligence department. In the region, we are working on the alternative plan. If there are some threats which are totally real against our energy system, against our system which can let us have the winter in the best way possible to save the people and our infrastructure. I will not make the details public, and it's obvious why. Serhii, is the region ready to the heating season beginning? I will tell you the following. When they say that everything is ready for 100%, I can't say it's true. It's never like that. We can't be ready for 100%. But it's almost 100% in the region, that is the infrastructure objects, the social objects, they are ready to the heating season. It's true. This work is ongoing and continuous. It's on the daily basis, and it will be over with a little break after the heating season, that is next year. So there is the work of the regional headquarters which is dealing with these issues, and the representatives of all of the departments of Odesa Regional Oblast Military Administration are included in this work. So this issue is relevant and it's always on the agenda. Serhii, we know that Odesa Oblast, Odesa region, has become the place, the region which took lots of internally displaced persons. According to your estimates, how many persons like that are now in Odesa region? There is a category of people who are registered through the app of DIA, and there is the category of people who are registered directly in the certain structures, the rayon or district of military administrations, of city administrations, and other structures, including. So it's about 120,000 of forced refugees. We're speaking about the people who came to the region since 2014 as well. So of course, since February of the current year, this inflow has increased substantially. We're speaking about the IDPs from the east of our country, from Kharkiv region. We're speaking about Mykolaiv and Kherson regions. There is a huge volume of work done in this sphere. It is very hard, of course, but not a single temporary IDP person is abandoned. If there are any questions, we instantly work on them. Moreover, the hotline is working continuously. It is really efficient. People are using it, so people can't only get consultations, but also can know the procedure of their actions, answering these or those questions. Serhii, we understand that the heating season almost never will take place at any of the temporarily occupied territories, and it will lead to the new wave of the evacuation for the people who wanted to wait for liberation during the warmer period, but they will stay in the cold during the winter. Are you ready to take an additional wave of the people who will be definitely trying to find more convenient, more comfortable conditions in the different settlements? We, the Ukrainians, in comparison with Russians, don't only leave our own, we are ready to meet anyone, any person who is ready to come to us because of the combats. We will give them jobs and we will not abandon, we guarantee that. I thank you for getting in touch with us. We thank you for finding time to join our air. I will remind we had Serhii Bratchuk today, the spokesperson for Odesa Oblast Military Administration and chair of the Public Council. Dear colleagues, I remind you that our next briefing will take place at 2 p.m. when we planned an expert panel discussion where we'll discuss very relevant topics like mobilization in Russia. We'll be speaking about pseudo referendums and nuclear blackmail. We will be joined by such experts as Alina Frolova, Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine of 2019-2020 and Deputy Chair of the Board of the Center for Defense Strategies. We'll have Alexander Khara, Foreign Affairs and Security Policy expert at Center for Defense Strategies, diplomat, advisor to the Defense Minister of Ukraine in 2020. We'll have Natalia Butyrska, expert on East Asia, Master of International Relations, and Vadim Denisenko, Executive Director of the Ukrainian Institute for the Future. So stay with us. Glory to Ukraine.